Hello, welcome guys. I'm going to model the crop and color correct today in Photoshop. And I brought in a photo and I'm just going to go look in my tools panel, and I have my tools panel in two columns. I can go up to those two arrows at the top and click once, it makes it in two. I click again, it makes it in one. I prefer you have it in two so I can easily describe these tools. I want to use the crop tool today. And as I told you before, every time I choose a tool, my option bar changes, right? To adjust to that tool. If I have the text tool, I have an option bar with some fonts in it, and I have the size of those points on it, and I have a color. If I choose the crop tool, as soon as I click on that, I get this nice white border going around my photo, right? And I think I mentioned before that you can adjust the horizon line. Now, my horizon line is where the earth meets the sky, or my earth meets the water, or my earth meets a barn. You know, whatever I see the earth meeting up with, that's my line, horizon line. I can go to the edge of the crop with these nice white frames are on here, and you'll see my tool changes, right? It turns into a bent arrow. I can left click and hold down, and I can move to the left or move to the right and adjust that horizon line. You can look down at the bottom of my frame and you see I can adjust it to where it's going up towards the sky almost. My horizon line is pretty straight. I can look and check on that grid to see how straight it is. So that's one of the choices for the crop tool. The crop tool will also allow me to drag my photo in from the left or right. I can drag it in from the bottom. Maybe get rid of some empty space. Like over here I have a lot of empty space. I could do that. And make that more in the center of my frame. It's great for creating a rule of thirds later on when we get down to discussing that in the composition part. But for right now, I'm just going to pretend that I have a client that wants a photo 7 by 5, right? 7 inches by 5 inches. The first number is always the width across, and the second number is always the height, right? So you could say the horizon, right? The horizontal line and the vertical line. Vertical would be up and down. Horizontal is flat, just like the horizon, right? It's going, that's the width. All right. So I'm going to go up to the option bar. I'm going to look, and right up here in the first square, I have ratio. So it's bringing in the standard ratio where I can change just a little bit on one side, and it's not affecting the top. If I had it set for original ratio, it will always be whatever the photo size is. If I come up here and click on W times H times resolution, that'll allow me to set that resolution and that width and height. So I'm going to click on that for this assignment. My client wants 7 inches by 5 inches by 300 resolution. So I'll click on that first square. I'm going to type in 7IN. I'm going to go to the second one, which is the height, and I'm going to type in 5 inches. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to put the resolution of 300 in there. All right, so far so good. Hold on a second. So that's where I'm at with the crop tool, right? I have it's 7 inches that way and 5 inches down. How do I know that? I can put in, let me go ahead and crop this. I'm going to crop this. I'm going to go to this check mark at the top, or I can hit my return key on my Mac or my enter key on a Chromebook. And I hit that, and the resolution and the size change. So I'm going to press Control or Command on a Mac and the plus sign to make my image bigger. Right? I think I told you that in class. I can press Control and the minus key and make it smaller. Make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to press my Control key and the letter R on my keyboard to get that ruler. See that ruler I have going around the center of the interface there in my work area? So if I look right now, I have the crop tool. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to go up here and get my move tool. If I look at this corner, you can see on that ruler it said 0. And I go over to this right corner, it should be 7 inches. It is. It's 7 according to that ruler. Now the height, if I come to this corner and look over here, I am on 0. If I go down to the bottom and come over here, it is on 5. So 7 inches across here, 5 inches down. We're doing good. We cropped it exactly like our client wants it. So I'm going to do some color correction. I'm going to come up to my layer, hover my cursor over it, and I'm just going to click on this and go ahead and make a duplicate layer. I can name this color correct. And I type that in and I hit OK up here. And you can see I have a second layer. Now I want to do some basic color correction, and as I said, there's many ways to do that. I'm just going to do a basic auto correct almost. I'm going to add an adjustment layer. So I'm going to come down to the icons on the bottom, and I'm going to go to the one I call the half moon, which is create a new fill adjustment layer. It's also called a fill layer, right? I'll left click on that, my tab opens, and I'm going to scroll up to where it says curves. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see my properties panel opened up and changed, right? I just wanted to show you that. Every time, this is just like clicking a tool over here on the tools panel and my option bar changes. Pretty much the same with the properties. I clicked on hue and saturation and the properties changes. I click on color lookup and the property changes. For this one, I want to go to levels and the property changes. I have a graph up here, right? It's basically the histogram of the light in this photo. On top of that, I have RGB, another square that says auto. Right below my graph, I have 3 triangles, one over here on the left, one in the center, one on the right. I want to grab the one in the center and just left click and go to the left. And you see the lights become lighter, right? If I drag it to the right of center, my darks become darker. So you can choose to your own liking how you want your photo to look. I kind of liked mine dark because I already have some shadows in there, and the sun's going down. We see the sun down in this area, and I want to, I don't know, kind of emphasize that darkness is coming. So I kind of like it like that. I'm going to grab the center eyedropper and look for some gray. That's how I color correct. go to that original grayscale that the camera saw, and I'm hopefully, if I choose that as my center, every other color will adjust to that. So the only gray I really see in here is maybe some of this cloud, maybe down here. I could try that. Oh, that's not correct. I'm gonna hit Control Z, Command Z on the Mac to go back to what it was. When I don't have any gray in my photo, I can always come up here and just hit Auto, and Photoshop will color correct it as best as it can. So I'll hit Auto, and there we are. I can always go back to change the darkness and lightness of it, right? Or the value of it, just by clicking that triangle and dragging it back. I want it a little dark, so I'm going to do that. And that's basically it for this assignment. I want to save my work. I'm going to go up to File, Save As. I want to make sure I have a PSD file, save it that way. And I'm going to save it again, File, Save As. I'm going to name it up here. I would name it Color Correct, and I would save it this time as a JPEG. So I need a JPEG and a PSD file. And that's basically it. Happy photoshopping, happy photo taking, and enjoy your time with this software.